Hey guys, it's Vanessa with Up and Growing, and we're going to be using one of these Dollar Tree jars. I did paint the lid with 2 coats of white paint, and then I primed it with some Mod Podge. And then I'm going to be finishing off the lid with these cute peppermint stickers. They're from Hobby Lobby. They are in the sticker section. They're not over by the Christmas stuff. I was struggling getting it off there, and then I just went around my lid there, and then I was short a couple. It didn't go all the way around, so luckily I had another one, and then I just cut off a couple peppermints, and then I lined them up. I actually overlapped the red so it would line up perfectly, and it looks great. You can't even see that I did a little patch job. And I'm just showing you how I cut them off of another sheet. Then we are going to Mod Podge our jar, and I found these window clings at the Dollar General, and be using the gumdrops and the cupcake and the little peppermint and of course the gingerbread. For some reason those window clings wanted to stay on the sheet, so maybe you guys can loosen them up before you get your Mod Podge on, because you'll see I had to really layer it on once I got my window clings off, because it did start to dry even though I had a good coat on there. And then I'm just going to place down my gingerbread. It had a little peppermint on the hat, but I did remove it. I cut it off because I didn't want it to be above the surface of the jar. And then I'm just going to place my window clings where I want them. What I love about using the window clings is if you get all of your stickers on, your clings on the jar, you can move them around. Not like the stickers where once you get them on, it'll be some work to move them around. So once you get everything on there, I'm going to go over the edges of my window clings, make sure they're nice and attached, and then I just do a nice sweep over the window cling. I am going to be adding some of the fine white glitter, because of course we want to give this a nice sparkly glitter look. And then I'm going to load it up with my favorite glitter. And then once my design dries, because I am going to be doing something on top of the lid, I'm going to spray that glitter with the Crayon Glitter Blast spray. It's going to keep everything still sparkly, and it's going to keep that glitter on the jar. I'm only going to spray my jar. I'm not going to spray the design of what I do on top. And then I'm going to go around with Mod Podge over my sticker on the lid. I'm just keeping it on the outside. I do not want to glitter the top of my jar. If you guys don't want to do all the more that I'm going to do on top of the jar, and you want to finish the whole lid with glitter, then Mod Podge everything and glitter it. I don't want to try gluing stuff to glitter. It doesn't stick, guys. So it's super cute just the way it is. Look at, she's so sparkly. I'm going to put lights inside of it. I just love this one. So it's super cute just like that. Just to have a nice little light up decoration. Of course, you can use it as a functional jar, but I'm not gonna. So I cut out a piece of styrofoam, and I'm going to use it as my base for the top of my lid. I don't want to just hot glue that styrofoam right onto the jar, so I am using just a little bit of the Gorilla Glue. And then I'm going to run my hot glue around the outside. Do you see how I left space around my styrofoam? Because I'm going to be working with my spackle and I want room there so that we can get our spackle on and be able to remove the jar. So I have my one-time Red Devil lightweight spackle. I add a little bit of white paint. And then I'm going to put it in my piping bag, and I'm going to be using my go-to tip. My piping tip is 1M. It's a Wilton tip. You can get them at Walmart. I believe Hobby Lobby has them, but I don't know if they're actually a 1M. They're probably called something else. It's an open star. And then I'm going to hot glue a little skewer into my styrofoam. That's where my gingerbread is going to live. And then I'm just going to cover my styrofoam with my spackle. I'm not piping anything fancy. Make sure your jar is dry. You don't want to be taking your glitter off working the top of your jar. And then I don't want to sit my gingerbread just on that spackle, so I'm adding a little bit of super glue. I don't know what was on this bottle, but it was being annoying. So I have super glue on there, and I'm just gonna get her up on there. There is a video how to make gingerbread. It's the very first video in my video section. I have some gumdrops I did with foam clay. They're nothing fancy. And then I'm going to use these candy canes. I did one up higher than the other. And we finished it off with our little embellishments. And of course, our sprinkles. I do have this sprinkle mix in my Etsy shop. It is called Christmas Morning. And here she is all lit up. I love this one. I hope I've inspired you guys. Let me know in the comments what you think.